All right, so I just wanted to make some more comments on working with SLEs, especially from an LIE's point of view. Um, some of my own experience with this, particularly in the Army setting, which is its own kind of unique environment in a way, but the same principles kind of apply, right? The same kind of interaction style. So for me, I would have a few SLEs that I can think of in hindsight that worked for me essentially. These guys were sergeants that had their own sections that they were running and so on. Um, the best way to kind of deal with a lot of them was understand that a lot of these people have their own little section, their own territory that they're good at, their own thing that they are running and in charge of, their own people, etc. Don't micromanage them. As long as that SLE knows what he's doing, he's competent, he's not doing anything illegal or crazy, he's doing what he's doing. Give him his space. Let him have his little fiefdom, his little kingdom there that he's running stuff. Now, it doesn't mean that you're totally hands off. Quite the opposite. You want to continuously sort of show your presence every now and again, right? So you're giving them plenty of space to do their own thing, and you're not really interfering, but you're sticking your head in there. You're poking around to see just how things are going, and you're letting them know that you know what's up, that you're aware of what's going on in that section, that you're interested to know what's going on in that section, in that department, um, that you're monitoring things, like you're seeing the data, you're seeing the results, the numbers, the things that are coming out of there, right? And you're letting him, well, I'm saying him, but you're letting that SLE know that you're competent at what you're doing. If you demonstrate that you're competent at what you're doing, and you're not getting in the way of that SLE, you're not interfering with his little kingdom he's got going on in there, they'll respect you. They'll leave you alone. They'll respect you. It won't be a fight over power or dominance or whatever, territory, if you will. You're not interfering with theirs. They're not interfering with yours. And if you know what you're doing, they'll have respect for you. Um, so it comes down to a lot of that. I had a lot of, as I said, a few SLEs in there, and certainly a couple of them were really what I would consider my right hand man, so to speak. Uh, really go to guys that I would rely on to get things done, to work hard to get things done, to keep other people in line and other people doing what they need to do. Also, people that you could have fun with, and so on. Um, so it would work out well that way. From an LIE's point of view, um, I think we offer SLEs a bit of guidance, a bit of understanding the broader picture of what needs to happen. So being more of the leader that's providing the overall picture and mission on what needs to happen and giving the guidance, as well as maybe helping to provide the plan. This is the plan. This is the intent. This is the overall goal that we're trying to do. And at that point, if you've clearly communicated that to an SLE, you now give that SLE their marching orders, so to speak, to move forward. Just go ahead. You know the plan. You know the general idea of what we want, the intent at the end state that we want. Go get it. Right. Here's the resources you've got to do it. Here's what you've got. Here's the overall timeline, all that stuff. Go forth. Right. And then give that SLE some space to go do it, make it happen. Right. That's probably the best kind of mutual relationship you can have between an LIE and an SLE. But I think regardless of what your type is, if you're working with an SLE, that's kind of what you sort of want to do. Show them that you're competent at what you're doing. You know your stuff. You're on top of things. That you have a backbone, critical one. You got to have your own backbone. That you can stand your ground too. You can show that you have a little bit of toughness in you as well. You're not just going to roll over on stuff. You're not someone to be fucked with, essentially. You just gotta let them know you've got that in you, so they realize there's some boundary there. They can't fuck with you, right? But you don't need to be excessive with it. You don't need to demonstrate it or flaunt any of that. You just, you're just kind of little reminders, and they can see it based on your competency that you know what the fuck you're doing. You know what you're talking about. Um, and they'll respect you with that. And again, give them space. Don't micromanage them. Let them do their thing, right? It's pretty much it. Some types are going to have a hard time with that because some types can't help it. They got to micromanage. They got to get involved. Or some types, they're just not very competent. Sorry, they're not good at understanding their shit, their business. Some types may not have the backbone. That's the problem. They don't have that tough leadership capacity at all, and so some SLEs are just going to start running right over you. Sometimes intentionally and sometimes unintentionally. They're just putting pressure and asserting themselves, and they're just kind of slowly pushing you out of the way if you don't have enough backbone, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Some additional contact tips, I guess, on LIE, SLE kind of working relationship sort of style, and just overall dealing with the SLEs.